In this video, I'm going to confess to you guys a full uncensored story of what happened to me when I got arrested for 8 months by the Taliban. I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine in Afghanistan and interview a few members of the Taliban. This is the craziest story, so crazy that the UK media went insane. You're not going to want to miss this one. Hey everyone, it's Lord Miles here, the last great British explorer. So, I know you clicked on this video because of the insane title, but I promise you, it is not clickbait. You're going to want to hear this story right here. So, as you can see, despite 8 months in Taliban custody, I'm actually back in Afghanistan, and it's one hell of a story. So it all begins in February of 2023 when my 2 friends and I were having a goofy lads holiday trip to Afghanistan. For them, it was their first time, but for me, it was actually my 5th time in Afghanistan. So for anyone who's not familiar with my adventures, I've been to Afghanistan during the fall of Kabul by accident, and I became the biggest seller of Taliban merch in the West. Then I've been shooting with the Taliban for a YouTube video, amongst some other business ventures and just general tourism. This adventure to Afghanistan, however, was something different. I wanted to start a gold mine, as you casually do, but I didn't have the right permits or the equipment to do that. I went to the potential mining site in Afghanistan without a few permits, and that was a crime I committed. Shit happens, I admitted my mistake, and it happened basically, oopsie. But despite that, being a silly, goofy, fun-loving, whimsical fella, who's kind of retarded and probably autistic, this crazy story that I'm about to tell you is 100% true. So when I formally got detained, it was outside of a Western Union near Jalalabad after I withdrew some money from the bank. Now, I don't know why they call the city Jalalabad. I call it Jalalagud because I like it, but anyway. Some men in uniform approached me with AKs, a PKM and a handgun, and I was put into handcuffs. All 3 of us were driven to Kabul GDI headquarters for questioning, with GDI being the Taliban's intelligence, like with American CIA or British MI6. After a night of a holding cell, we began the questioning, and the first test, they handed me an American M16 assault rifle. Next, the Taliban asked me to show them how I would check to see if it was loaded or not. Of course, this was an initial test to see if I was a soldier or not. I'm not a soldier, so it turns out. And the weapons, I turned the safety of the weapon off, I pointed the barrel at the roof of my mouth, and click, nothing. So I tried again, made a face of gosh darn it, with 8 Taliban watching, then pointed the gun of a Taliban commander, click, it wasn't loaded. I had no way to know if it wasn't loaded or not, but I reckon they wouldn't give a loaded weapon to a detainee. Regardless, they burst out laughing. It definitely broke the ice with the Taliban. Next, the Taliban commander brought out an RPG, specifically the rocket. He held it and pointed to the section of the rocket saying, you see this part here? If you hit it high enough, it detonates the rocket. With a smile, he's like slamming the rocket against the frame of a bunk bed in the room with everyone going crazy with nervous laughter. The commander was sure we weren't soldiers at that point, but I think he just wanted to have some fun and tease us. After that, he asked how we're doing. I reply with, lovely hard day. And he asked, now intrigues, what I mean by that. And I say, well, last night, I didn't have my phone or laptop, I didn't have any work to do, so I just slept all night and chilled with my friends. I got free food served to me, so it was a holiday. Now, that wasn't the answer he expected. I imagine he expected everyone to be complaining all the time, so he was intrigued by this. So I call him the kind commander. The kind commander opened up saying that he's always stressed out about work and running the intelligence agency. I recommended he committed a crime so he can enjoy a holiday with me, which caused a little bit of laughter and a chuckle from him. The next line of questioning was about my background, why I was basically the biggest seller of Taliban merch in the West, and why. How did that happen? I don't even know myself. Why I had been traveling to Afghanistan 5 times. My friend and I discovered that Russian intelligence had actually reported me as being a potential weapons dealer between Ukraine and Afghanistan, buying up US weapons and that were left behind, and then quickly selling them to Ukraine. That was quickly debunked. I'm not the Lord of War, I'm just Lord Miles. So we went back to the holding cell and discovered a new man had been placed there. Before, it was just Afghans who didn't speak English, some thieves, some scammers, etc. But this was something different. A 6'6", wide build American black man was standing there before us. We all asked him, hey man, what are you in here for? He then shouted at us, what the fuck man, why are you white people in here? Yo, fuck white people, you are my enemy. I'm here from America, Mujahideen, to join the terrorists. Now clearly this man was insane, straight up. I couldn't stop laughing. We had an American schizophrenic here. Eventually, he started chimping it in and out, threatening to kill the Taliban guards because they weren't true Muslims like him. Then he sucker punched one of the Taliban, roaring, I'm ISIS, I'm Al-Qaeda, fuck white people. He rightfully got put in isolation because he was just straight up insane. So as the Taliban discovered I didn't have a permit for the gold mine, they transported my two friends and I to a guest house instead of a holding cell, giving us slightly nicer conditions. The house was fully furnished, fairly modern, spacious, and we had a nice view. Over the next 10 days, questions happened from time to time, but we had 8 Taliban servants to serve us whatever food we asked for within reason. We read books, we exercised, it was alright basically. It was a nice little holiday. So on day 13, my two friends were released back to England, with one friend really acting icy to me. When I found out my best friend told the Taliban that I might be a spy, which threw me under the bus trying to save his own skin. See guys, I'm not Mossad Miles, I'm simply Lord Miles. I'm not a Fed. I felt so bad that my best friend of 4 years screwed me over. I was really distraught, I've got to be honest. It wasn't a good feeling, man. I feel it hurts. This led to 2 weeks of reasonably strong questioning. Miles, we know you're a spy. Submit it, we'll let you go. Miles, we know you're a spy. If you admit it, we'll let you go. We just want to learn some techniques that they've taught you. Miles, we know that you're a spy. If you let us know, you can get out within a year, but if you don't admit it, it may be here for a few years. Eventually they realised I'm not a spy, because in order to work in intelligence, you definitely require intelligence. And trust me, I'm clearly lacking upstairs. So after about a month of detention, I'm brought into a lovely tropical garden like the one we're in now, surrounded by trimmed hedges and roaming peacocks. After handing me a pizza and pouring me some tea, the kind commander basically says, "Okay, Miles, we know you didn't have a permit for the gold mine. You did break a law, yes, but it's a small crime, which means a small problem. And you did it out of ignorance, not out of malice. So it's like maximum security prison versus minimum security prison. You aren't a spy, you aren't a soldier, you aren't a big criminal. He's made a small mistake." So from there, I was handing back my laptop very kindly for entertainment alongside the $1,000 I had from Western Union for spending money. I downloaded some movies, some books, and made a phone call to my government and my friends. So my government asked me, Miles, do you have clean water? And are you fed daily? And I say to them, yeah, I've got sparkling and still water. I've got Pepsi, I've got Coke, I've got tea, I've got coffee. You get 3 meals a day. Yes, there was pizza and kebabs and ice cream. They were shocked at my good treatment, which was pretty funny to think. They thought I was under some duress, but when I was generally treated very well by the Taliban for 8 months. Trust me, I wouldn't be back in Afghanistan if I wasn't. Because I had some money on me too, I can give some to my Taliban servants and go, hey dude, can you fetch whatever I want from the market? They'd get all the movies on a USB stick. Of course I was allowed internet for security reasons, but they'd fetch me anything I wanted. I got Western snacks, I got fairy lights just stuck around my room, and I also got an Xbox and a TV. It was a good setup basically, I was chilling. And slowly I got closer to the Taliban servants in the guest house. We would watch Breaking Bad together with Parsi and Pashto subtitles. So when I shaved my head, I was called Jesse for a week straight. So we watched Rambo 3, the one set in Afghanistan, which led them to soy face when we saw the Taliban on screen. We also watched Titanic, which surprisingly brought one of the men slightly to tears. He was quite an emotional bloke, even though he was very hardened. We even watched the new Barbie movie with the Taliban. On Pancake Day, I explained to them this was a semi-religious holiday in England. So I cooked pancakes for the entire house of the Taliban and other detainees. Other days we'll work out together with the gym equipment I had. I even had this one joke before going to the bathroom, which is called Tishnab, that the Americans dropped bombs on Afghanistan, Miles drops bombs on the toilet, which made everyone laugh. I threatened to turn the Taliban upside down and dip their heads in the toilet, and they would say that when I fall asleep, they'll delete all my moves from my laptop. I basically had banter with the Taliban. At the end of the day, they're a bunch of fun-loving blokes. One day we had a water fight, another day we played volleyball, we even arm wrestle. Once I chased them around with one of their AKs, one time they chased me around with a PKM. You know, it's just typical holiday stuff in Afghanistan.
Hey guys, do you want to be put on a watch list? Maybe get anally probed at airports? Scare away all the hoes? Well, I just have the thing for you! Do you remember the Taliban hoodie from a previous video? Well, now I'm selling it, locally made in the best country on earth, goddamn US of A, and it even comes with a Taliban sticker. Aww, big shout out to the Taliban. Insane gym drip, 12 ounces and quality embroidery. Not your taste? Maybe wear a literal scan of my passport on your t-shirt to scare the TSA agents. Maybe an authentic Taliban headband for $20? All the links in the description. Thank you guys for supporting my work. Back to the video.
So, if you remember the American black man, the crazy one, he was also in the house, but he was in an isolated area due to everyone's safety. He had books and everything, and I was able to talk to him. I would talk to him. It turns out he came to Afghanistan to marry a 5-year-old girl so he can get Afghan citizenship, and he was in Thai prison a few years back for soliciting sex from an 8-year-old girl. He also had delusions believing he was Michael Jackson's long-lost son and was worth $100 million, but Joe Biden was personally plotting on his downfall. Joe Biden apparently kidnapped him and stuck a chip in his brain at the end of his penis, sending messages to his brain through satellite images, attacking him. Apparently Kim Kardashian too would also do the same. He believed he was the leader of a terrorist cell, and whenever he made a post on Facebook demanding an attack, it would actually happen. He completely believed an attack on the Burj Khalifa was going to happen. I always responded when speaking to him like, yeah, so true, man. I would quickly walk away. Either he was the worst CIA agent in the world or just a crazy man. But I do hope he gets the help he needs. Speaking of CIA, I actually met loads of CIA agents in the guest house. Some Afghans were hired by the CIA to gather intelligence. So when I entered the guest house and saw them, they would always straight up tell me who they were, what their mission was, and ask me if I had a contact with the outside world using my laptop. Again, staying away from those types. I'm not a spy, but those people generally were. And some of those men actually spent 6 months in a guest house, so they weren't put there just as a plot. So of course, because I was a small criminal, I was put in a different room from these people, because them being a spy, that was a big problem. But me, small problem. There was also a sweet old man who turned out to be a bomb maker for both ISIS and an informant for the CIA in the old government. So another man I met was actually Russian. He spoke very little English, but he would sleep for 16 hours a day. He would only wake up when food came, and he would either say yippee or mashallah. When I started showing him movies, he would ask if I had any fuck movies, and he would complain that his wife with big Tatars was still in Russia and he was here. He illegally snuck into Afghanistan from Russia without a visa or a passport, basically. He was a funny bloke, but a bit weird, wasn't he? There was also an Iranian man who jumped the border into Afghanistan and dug up some graves in remote villages. He would basically steal the gold trinkets that people were buried with. And so he would get a surgeon to open up his stomach and then stick the gold inside so he could smuggle it back to Iran. So he was a grave robber. Fortunately, he got arrested. I'm not exactly a fan of the guy. He was lovely, but when I found out about his crimes, not a big fan. Every week or so, I would meet up with the kind commander in the headquarters and have a picnic with him, discuss business and Afghanistan in general. I discussed my ideas for the nation, opening a gold mine and improving tourism, amongst other things. It got so good to the point where I actually had a pitch deck formed, a fancy PowerPoint document for business propositions basically, and I put it together on my laptop whilst in Taliban custody, and I presented it to the Taliban ministers of the government in the conference room. I had a laser pointer and everything. It was quite fun sitting in a conference room, presenting this idea and having these men take notes. Sometimes I would meet with Chinese businessmen who had gold mine in the northern regions of the northern provinces. I would call my friends whenever I wanted, and I would put together business propositions on the phone with my business friends. I also had picnics with the GDI. I really did enjoy myself in many ways. I really did outdo myself this time, and I've got to admit, guys, I'm rather proud of what I did. I kind of sat there thinking, okay, this is one opportunity and I'm going to take it by its horns. Once I only got ill, it turns out to be food poisoning. Turns out you shouldn't order sushi in a landlocked country. It wasn't a great idea. Instantly rushed for doctors. Everything I got, I needed, basically. So I got all the necessities plus more. It was only meant to be a 6-month sentence, but it took 2 months to get the deportation paperwork between the British and the Taliban government. The British government did a wonderful job on my welfare checks, even though it was fine. So I must say thank you very much to the British Foreign Office on making that happen. After 8 months in Taliban custody, I was called into another guest house and told the next day I'll be sent home. There wasn't an exchange, there wasn't a back-end deal between governments. I was formally sentenced to 6 months in prison and got released when the paperwork was done. Everyone was actually very sad to see me go, which was rather fun to see. I got showered with gifts from the Taliban, and they formally invited me back saying, hey, I know you made a mistake, but when you come back, we will get you every license you need. And you know what? I've been in Afghanistan now for a few days. They've given me anything. When I got back, I was formally invited back by the GDI and the wider Taliban government in England. I met with many ministers to talk about the gold mine business that I'm thinking about, and also the redevelopment fund I'm putting together with a few banker friends of mine. I'm making YouTube videos such as this for fun, and I'm staying in a Taliban guest house right now because it's cheaper than a hotel. I'll consider British ambassador to Afghanistan if the king asks nicely. The least narcissistic YouTuber, right? If you want to buy some Taliban merch from me, for links in the description. I also want to say, screw the media too. We all know how bad Western newspapers are about lying and deceiving. See, I don't mind if journalists don't like me. I'm a fun-loving guy. You can have an opinion about me, that's fine. But if they just make up straight-up lies, that's being deceitful. I do not appreciate that. It's happened so many times. So before I got back to England, I hit up some journalists who had screwed me over in the past, and I told them, hey bro, you're my top guy. I love your stories. I love where you wrote about me. Hey, I'm going to be landing in Birmingham Airport, which is a place I hate. But in fact, I was actually arriving in Gatwick Airport in London, over 150 miles away. I kept them there for 8 hours, telling them that I'm coming out any minute, but instead I was actually wasting their time chilling at home at this point, because screw that people. The best thing we could do in the world is actually screw over journalists. Listen guys, I've been to Afghanistan 6 times and everywhere else in the world. I've been the first tourist to survive Snake Island in Brazil, I've been to the front lines of Ukraine, I've been across South Sudan, I've even been to London and survived. If I experienced something bad in Afghanistan in my 8 months in the country, I would have told you guys, because to be honest, it would make a more entertaining story and it would get more clicks. But I also wouldn't be back for business if I came across something bad. I'm telling you the truth because I've got to be honest, I'm a real motherfucker, and these people here are my tally bros, not my tally foes. I generally had a good experience.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good because I'm in Afghanistan. It's a beautiful nation.
They said we're responsible for security. We're welcoming the other people to come to Afghanistan, and we are happy. And we make sure your security and anything we can do for you guys.
Oh, Tashikul Manana guys, very good. Thank you so much.
Have you got any questions for them?
Of course, so where are you guys from? Are you from Jalalabad, Kabul, Kandahar?
They are from Kabul.
Oh, very good.
Paghman district.
Oh, Palman, very nice area. It has very good fruit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As long as it's not from Kandahar, I'm very happy.
They took a gay way. Why? What happened with Kandahari?
Oh, you know, light skin. No, I joke. Mushkin nicht.
In your country,
Yes.
people like or love beautiful skin and bodies?
They do sometimes, but it depends. Religiously, we like the woman, of course. We get married for a woman, and we like the lighter skin too. But sometimes men find it very fashionable to be slightly darker skin, to have a tan. Slightly brown. Women like the man with a brown skin in England.
So, do you think to change your religion? Just he's asking.
Oh no, I'm very strong Catholic. I'm very strong Christian. I'll remain that way till I die.
Yeah.
Oh, what he said? Do I ask? No problems.
He's saying, make sure.
Of course, yes.
Buy some gifts for him.
Yes.
And make him happy.
Of course.
And then talking about the religion and like for example, make sure that he's happy. And
Yeah. It turns out, dude, as well, I've had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction right here, so I'll do my zip up a little bit later. I think my clothes are damaged a little bit, but today we'll buy some local jammies. And one thing I also want to do as well, my friend, I like the Taliban a lot. I want to say for you, my friend, gift, please. Please, my friend. Yeah. Least I can do.
He will.
Oh, no,
he's not. He's saying I love to give. Hi, he's also maybe something.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. This is for perfume, yes?
Yeah, it's a current perfume. He said I also love to give you a gift.
Banana. Thank you very much.
Okay. He said one of my friends
Yes.
died during the fighting, and still I kept his perfume, and I will use this a little bit for you.
Oh, okay. Whew. And this is a great honor. Your friend will live on in your memory, and he sacrificed himself for the country, which is very good to see. Banana. Thank you, my friend. Good man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much, Manana. Good man.
Hey guys, can you take a picture?
Yeah, of course. Let's take a photo.
Yeah.
It's Now that looks good. Banana. I must also talk about my friend Munir here. I ran into him in the guest house and he brought me some pizzas. He speaks fluent English and I've visited him before. We hit it off as mates and he's recently founded a tourism business in Afghanistan. So if you want to visit Tora Bora or the Khan Corridor or just Kabul or just want to go shoot with the Taliban, anything that you want to make happen to Munir can absolutely make it happen at the best price. The link for his website is in the description. I can highly recommend it. Basically, Munir, thank you for coming, and I hope your tourism business shoots off.
Thank you, Omar. I'm nice to have you back here in Afghanistan, and also I can express how happy I am that you are here. So you know, the first time when I met Mile, because I've been for a long time with Western, I work with them, so I knew they will ask me for pizza with maybe French fries. So that's why I asked Mile, what do you need to have right now? He said, I need a book and I need to maybe pizza. So that's why I provided him pizza and I bought him a book, because actually my friend was arrested by the GDA as well. I went to meet him and accidentally I saw him.
Yes.
But for me, he wasn't look like a jailer. I said, "Oh, you're comfortable." So he said, "Yeah, for a small problem, small punishment for me." So he's the guy. I'm happy for him back to, and also I invite some other people come to Afghanistan through my company. I have lots of good facility for you guys, and I will make sure that I will take you to the right places to enjoy from Afghanistan and to every provinces. I have a facility, for example, I have a logistic facility as well, vehicles, food, hotel, or maybe a place whenever you want to go to a mountain, I can provide you tent, security, anything you need, I can provide it. Hope to see you guys in Afghanistan and come through my company. I'm happy to help everyone.
I highly recommend it, guys. If you go through normal Western tourism agencies in Afghanistan, it's very impersonal. The tours are very set up and artificial. With Munir here, he'll take you on the personal tours anywhere you want and you can structure your own tours, and usually it's half the price, which I love to see. Thank you, Munir.
No problem.
Good man.
Welcome back. Welcome.
I'm going to make many more videos across Afghanistan because it's one of the most interesting places of the world to me. There isn't a place I wouldn't go as well on top of that. Someday I'll go to North Central Ireland, I promise you all that. And if you want to see my future videos, I want you to please like and subscribe. And I just want to say thank you to all my donors on my Ko-Fi page. I love you all, you silly little people in the group chat. And if you'd like to donate monthly to support my suicidal adventures, links in the description. Live, love, laugh, my fellow adventurers. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and please follow me on all socials. It took 8 months to make this video technically, so thank you very much for listening. I had a genuinely good experience in Afghanistan, and I do recommend people come here for tourism because it's not what the media says it is. Because I could honestly move here, it's a beautiful country, and I just want to say thank you to the commander, to my friends, the British government for my good experience. And you know what? It's good to be back in Afghanistan. And to my Tally bros, congratulations on winning the war. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.